One of the biggest benefits of having your own garden is being able to come home and strut through your own aisles, your garden grocery aisles, and being able to pluck the produce that you are going to have for that particular evening to prepare a nutritious meal for your family. And we all know that the nutrition coming directly from the soil is so much better than store bought, given the time that it takes to arrive to the aisles of a common supermarket and then to your table. You've lost so much due to oxidation and other factors, as well as the pesticides and everything else they use to treat that produce. So knowing what you have in your soil, organically prepared, organically grown, and then onto the table guarantees that you're getting the maximum benefits from the produce in your garden.
Gardening time, let's get into the trenches.
So tonight I'm going to take you through a simple Asian-inspired dish which is quite nutritious, but with most of the ingredients being from the garden. And this is something that you can do quite readily based on the seasonal produce that you have available. This time of the year, the brassicas and specifically Asian greens tend to flourish in the garden, so we tend to make a few more dishes that are Asian inspired in order to take advantage of that, both the nutritional but also the taste benefits. So heading off into my garden grocery store, I'm starting off with my choy, which grows really nice. It's a colder weathering plant, so it really does well throughout the winter season. I use the cut and come again method here. So I just remove the outer leaves and take what I need for tonight's dinner, and leaving the plant to continue growing from the center shoots. As I've said, brassicas and cold weathering plants really do really well this time of the season. I've got some marigolds interspersed into the garden here as well. It does really well because these plants are sometimes susceptible to aphids, so the marigolds do a really good job in warding some of those pests off. So going back to the kitchen, I have all my ingredients ready and washed. So together with the choy that I've got from tonight, I've got my chili, some garlic and ginger. My carrots, unfortunately, are not yet ready to harvest, so I've used store-bought. Of course, I use sesame seed oil, which I use to saute the vegetables in. It gives it a really fragrant aroma. Then the kitchen staple of soy sauce as well as oyster sauce. And then tonight I'm using a fish sauce as well, which I'll use to start the vegetables off for this evening, as well as some really nice freshly cleaned prawns for this meal tonight. So as I've said, to start off with, in order to introduce the fragrances into the pan, I use the sesame seed oil, and then I add all my aromatics. So the garlic, the ginger paste, the chilies are the first to go into the pot to get ready for this great, fragrant Asian meal this evening. I then beat up my eggs, get them ready. These go into a well in the center. So tonight I'm making a fried rice, and the first thing off is you want to use day-old rice, so not fresh rice, preferably. It just holds the oil a little bit better and makes the rice a little bit crispier. So you leave that to loosen up on a relatively high heat. Then you start adding your veggies, starting off with the carrots. I've added the rest of my ingredients, as you can see, into the pot. I'll add the choy last because it cooks quite quickly. You make a well in the center and you beat up your eggs so that they don't form an omelette in the center, and they're nicely interspersed into your egg fried rice for this evening. Lastly, adding your greens into the mix, helping them maintain some level of crisp. It helps bring the dish nicely together. And as you can see, that's the finished dish. Really lovely, tasty, quick weekday meal. One of the family favorites.